All right. Well, good morning and welcome to Brekkie with the Guy Who Sews. My name is Sean and I have my very special guest today with me. All right, hang on, what's going on here? Be quiet. I thought I turned it off. I'm sorry. Okay, so redo. Can I get redos on lives? But anyway, this is my very special friend, very special guest. It is Lara Fuller from Lara Fuller Earth and Art. My coffee hasn't kicked in. My dogs woke me up at 5:30 this morning, so I am not firing off cylinders. So bear with me this morning. So do you want to say hi to everybody, Lara, and just tell us where you're from, what you do, because you do some quilting and some other fun crafts, and a little bit more about your channel.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, thank you for having me, Sean.
Oh, my pleasure.
Great to be here. Yeah, I do a bit of everything. I'm a bit of a mixed media artist, so I do a bit of textile work here and there, do a bit of painting here and there, and I sort of like to combine those skills together, and that's what a lot of my channel is about. You know, you'll see me doing, as I said, some stitching pieces. Then you'll see me using that with paint, paper. I also like to do altar journals, fabric books. Yeah, so I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. But yeah, but yeah, my channel has been going for quite, I think about a year now, or maybe a bit less. So, and yeah, and I mean, I've always like to create. I mean, when I was a little girl, I used to write stories, you know, about horses, and so yeah, it's always sort of been, you know, my blood, as it were.
Oh, absolutely. And then for anyone popping in, I'm sure they have figured out that you don't have an American accent. Where are you located?
UK, well, Wales, green grass of home.
Yeah, it's a beautiful part of the world from what I understand. And I think I've seen some pictures that you have shared with us in the past. And Wales is just a beautiful part of the country. I've seen
it's stunning.
Yeah, I've seen different photos and that sort of thing there. I've never been over to that side of the pond, but I would love to go sometime.
Yeah, so it is beautiful. I mean, I came to Wales when I was 4 years old. So, you know, it's pretty much home. I mean, originally I came from London. But because I was, you know, so young when I came, you know, Wales is my home. I don't really, you know, sort of see, you know, London as my home because I wasn't there long enough.
Right. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. The thing I like about your quilting that you've shown us in the past is, like you said, you are mixed media and you use, I think you fall, what would you say, more into the art quilts area?
Yeah,
would that be true?
Yeah, definitely. I'm very much like to design my own designs. You know, I love doing that. And you know, I've got a few ideas because I recently worked with wire work, which is stitching over wire and, you know, making designs that way. They call it stump work. In sort of embroidery. So yeah, I do definitely like to design and do my own pieces. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's a lot of fun. And, you know, definitely check out Laura's channel to see some of the items that she's been working on, because it's, I don't know, to me, it'd be almost delicate to kind of, you know, pick up and show and that sort of thing there as well. But yeah, she does a really good job showing the different items that she brings along. Let's just say a quick hello to everybody that's hopped on already. It looks like my friend Pasita is here. Barb Olson says, good morning, Sean. It is 6 a.m. I just am in awe of folks that hop up, like even at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday to watch. Yeah. But the folks in the mountain and the West, you know, 5, 6 a.m., we don't get a lot. And I mean, I don't know that I would hop up at 5 o'clock to watch anybody when there's a replay option. So, I mean, it just means the absolute world. I mean, it's just, yeah. It needs a lot. So thank you for hopping on. Even if you have insomnia, you know, like, I'm glad we can help you out just in a little bit of a way.
Yeah.
Let's see. My friend Stephen, Blame Designs and Unity Quilter, is here. It's always good to see Stephen. He was here with me last week and we had an absolute blast So if you haven't checked out that live, go watch the replay later on as well. Kathy Klein is here. Good morning to Brenda Marie, Scrappy Creation. It's always good to see you. She has her own channel. Definitely check it out if you haven't done so already. My friend Teresa is here. Cheryl Curley is here. Janice from The Right Way is here. She also has her own channel. Definitely check that out as well. And she'll be on here, I think about a month. I can't remember. My calendar is so packed right now, and I just can't keep track of what day. I mean, yesterday I thought it was Saturday, so you almost had an extra live yesterday. Let's see. My friend Pam from the Empty Nest Crafter is here. Beverly Aikens and Jacqueline Spear, and I think I called everybody, and if I didn't, I apologize. It is hard to keep track of everything. I don't know how folks do it by themselves, but I'm going to work on my City Avenues quilt today, and I think you guys have seen this several times, and I'm dropping pieces of fabric on the ground, and that's not good. All right, so I've done this part already. And I've done another row, which I'll show you later, because right now I've got stuff everywhere. And if I move too much stuff around, it's not going to be pretty. And I've also set up my second camera as well with the sewing machine. And I would love to hear everybody's input to let me know if I need to get it closer, further away, that sort of thing there as well. So what is the name of Lara's channel? Her channel name is Lara Fuller Earth and Art. And the link to her channel is in the description. And I should be able to go snag it and put it in the chat in just a moment. Sorry, I'm just setting up my next set of fabrics. Actually, I can't do that right now. I need to set this up a little differently. So what did you bring along to show to work on today, Laura?
Well, I'm going to try my hand at tapestry, which is I got this anchor kit, Poppy Fields. And I wanted to try that today. I haven't done tapestry before, so I just thought it'd be interesting to try.
Nice.
Get out, and they give you a load of wool.
Yeah, that was something that.
Colors.
Yeah, I've never tried tapestry either, or I might have tried it for 5 minutes and gave up when I was a little kid. Yeah. But my brother. My younger brother tried it when he was about, I can't remember, 7 or 8, and he was actually pretty good at it. I don't think he kept it up for very long. I mean, you know, when you're at that age, you get excited about something.
Good on him.
And then you move on to the next thing. But yeah, he actually had a pretty good skill at that. So
yeah, because it's funny, really, because when I was at school, I mean, and we did sewing, but that was like my least favorite subject.
You and me both.
I didn't enjoy sewing then, but now it's funny, like how you can bring things up again, like you can start things that you weren't good at before.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's funny the way it works. But yeah, I'm so glad I did take it up though.
Me too. Yeah, I hated my sewing class in high school. I did it because it was mandatory. I don't know that I probably didn't pass. I honestly don't remember. But yeah, if my sewing teacher could see now that I'm sewing, she'd probably fall out of the chair. Yeah. All right, Melissa Feldhouse says, Sean, I'll join you after my 3-mile run. Okay, well, I hope you enjoy your 3-mile run. I really should go out and do a 3-mile run, but today is not that day. I mean, I opened the door to let the dogs out at 5:30 and it was already hot and muggy, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not going outside to exercise. So anyone that does go out and run this morning, my hat is off to you, especially if you're in the US or the Northern Hemisphere where it is not winter time. I actually prefer to exercise and run when it's cold outside. Like I've done some 5Ks, 10Ks in the snow and the cold, and I'd rather do that than when it's warm. So maybe I'm crazy, who knows? All right, good morning. My friend Tamika is here, good morning. And for anyone that doesn't know, Tamika is the author of that quilting journal that I've been talking about for the last week or so, and part of the giveaway that we are currently doing. So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. It's a review. I really like the book. That's a spoiler alert from the video. And you still have a chance to go ahead and put your name into the drawing for that book as well. It's a wonderful little quilt journal. And the thing I love about it is that it's really, really affordable. Some of these books out there are $20, $30, $40. This one is, I believe, $5.99 USD, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's definitely under $10 from Amazon. And if you're a Prime member, obviously your shipping's included, so you don't even have to worry about that. So good morning, Russ. It is good to see you. So what is everybody else working on today? Because now you know what I'm working on and what Miss Lara is working on, but I have no clue what you guys are working. Oh no, Russ is still without air conditioning. That is terrible.
Yeah.
He has had the hardest time of that. Might be time for a new system. The rate you guys are going, I'm really, really sorry to hear that. So let me know, Laura, what motivated you to start your own channel? Like everyone has their own story.
Yeah. I think basically mine was because my channel is sort of well-being as well, art therapy inspired. I think I wanted to use it to actually help people and inspire people. You know, who because I suffer from anxiety. My husband suffers with mental health. So it was, and you know, creativity is like it's always been you know, like you know, really good for me, like, and I thought, well, it might help others, you know, who perhaps, you know, suffer with that as well. And I did a art therapy course as well, and I've done a counseling course. So, but yeah, that's the reason I started it up, really.
Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned the anxiety, because I think that a lot more people have that than you first know. It's something my wife has.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anxiety per se, but you know, you put me into a crowd or any group of people in a small space, and yeah, I have to go. Like
Yeah.
but I'm very, very introverted, and it's interesting that a lot of the YouTube creators here in the quilting world and the crafting world have anxiety or are introverted or both.
Yeah.
You know, we may appear outgoing, which, you know, when you're in a group of friends and that sort of thing there, we
Yeah,
are.
it's different then.
But yeah, there's some folks out there that you wouldn't realize are actually very, very introverted. But yeah, you listen to them on YouTube and they appear very, very outgoing. So it's interesting that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Stephen is working on Tomty, which is really unknown. A lot of 2.5 inch squares and half square triangles, about 600 in total. I'd love to see a picture of that once you're done. I'm sure he'll post that on his channel once he is done with that. Tamika says, my birthday is tomorrow and I'm just waking up. I want to sew today. Well, happy birthday, Tamika. It is really good. I hope you have a great day. And that sort of thing there as well. Are you going to do anything fun on your birthday tomorrow? Let me know. Okay, so Tamika says she started crafting when she was in rehab for 10 months. So yeah, I think that really there is, you know, it's just something that's not talked about a whole lot.
Yeah. And I think that's, sorry, and I think that's the thing, because we find that there's still a lot of stigma around it. You know,
yes.
It's, and it, you know, and it's sad, really, especially in this day and age. You know,
I do think it is being talked about more, and I think it is, you know, the stigma's not as bad, but there's still, you know, I think there's still a long way to go.
There's still an improvement, I think, to be made, isn't there?
Absolutely. All right, Marie John says, good morning, all. Yeah, so it looks like we've got a nice little bunch here this morning. I'm so glad everyone's here to join us. And before we got online this morning, Laura was showing me this really cool book with some of the cross-stitch stuff that she was. Do you want to show us some of that stuff there? Because I think the viewers are really like, because that's all cross-stitch, right?
It is, yeah. Sorry if I've got to move the camera. Oops, there we go. Yeah, it's still drying a little bit, so be really careful.
Okay.
But yeah, that's, I think you can see it there. That's the whale.
That's so fun.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So yeah, it's it's like half a stitch. They call it a half a cross stitch.
Okay.
which is needlework, actually, which is the same they use in tapestry, actually. Because you got that stitch and you got your tent stitch, and then I did a mixed media page as well to go with it. So the whale's got to live somewhere, and he.
Yep. And so you're doing almost like a little scrapbook there, correct?
It is, yeah, it is a scrapbook. It's really full. I mean, you can probably I don't even see how full that is. It's just majorly full. But yeah, I've got a lot of things and I think this is really a good example of what I like to do, you know, with the mixed media.
Yeah, I think it looks great, and it's good to see different crafts, because I think that was something I asked on my channel a week or so ago. Was it last week?
Yeah.
I asked, was there different crafts that people did, because a lot of us are very multi-talented. A lot of us quilt and then also crochet or paint and that sort of thing. There, I do a little bit of painting with the ceramic painting, and I think.
Oh, that's interesting. How long have you been doing that?
We started that. Geez, it would have been like 15 or 16 years ago. There's a paint it yourself pottery studio near where we used to live, and we went there every weekend, and we I made some really fun pieces. A lot of our plates and that sort of thing there are painted from that. We haven't done it as much since we moved, because it's now like 35-40 minutes away. But
okay, yeah, a bit of a distance,
yeah, before it was like 6 minutes down the road, so it'd be kind of like our little Saturday afternoon date. We'd just go down there and we'd paint for a while, and I really enjoyed the creativity there for it. I mean, I've done stuff with I made baseball fields, I've done logos from my favorite TV shows. I did a plate with the whole cast of The Simpsons on it, and I'm actually redoing that, because when that one got finished, I put it in the kiln to fire it, and it fell into it cracked straight down.
Yeah.
So I would glue it back together. I have it on display here in the house, but I thought it'd be fun to redo it, and I've been working on that now for on and off for about 8 years.
Great.
Well, I put it away and then I forget about it, and then I pull it back out and I do a little bit of work on it. So it'll get done at some point.
Yeah. Sorry, carry on. Sorry.
When I finally finish it, I will put it in the state fair, because I think it's got a really good chance of winning a prize, because it's a fantastic piece. But I actually have to finish it first. So
yeah. But I think that's what's great about creativity, though, isn't it? Is that it can go into so many different areas.
Oh, for sure.
It's and yeah, I think that's great. I think it's great. But yeah, you have to show us when it's all done as well.
Yes,
definitely.
You haven't worked on it in a while. I really do need to work on that. I might actually I'm gonna be up that way today, so I might have to get some more paint. Because I think the paint that I have that they sold me a year or two ago, it's probably all dried up and nasty by now. So I'll go get some more. They sold little vials of it for a couple of dollars a piece. So it's not
that's good. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's not like I have to go out and spend a fortune on it. So I might swing by there this afternoon and grab that and give me something else to work on.
Yeah.
Not that I need something else to work on, but you know how it is.
The list is never ending, isn't it? Because you always you think of an idea. Oh, it's good. I can think of another one. Yeah, we've always got projects on the go. Always.
Yeah, and I get to a point too where I tell myself, okay, Sean, you've got to finish something before you can start something else.
Yeah.
So if I didn't do that, it'd be absolutely horrible. Marie John says, sometimes it's fun to clean your room just to come across projects you never finished and forgot about. I don't know about the whole.
Agree with that one.
I don't know that I agree with the whole it's fun to clean your room. That's one of the things I absolutely despise doing. But it is neat to find the stuff that you've forgotten about. That part I can get along with. Good evening, Jan. It is good to see you. I was wondering where you were. So Debbie Dunn is here. She says good morning to everybody. Everyone's saying hi to everyone else, which is always fun. All right, so are you actually able to get some work done while we're talking, or is it?
It's probably a bit more talking, as I said today.
Yes.
Probably. Yeah, a bit more talking. Really. It's like I've sort of like started, but very bits like, yeah, just I don't know, because I don't know whether it's just practice, but sort of talking and doing things at the same time. I think I need a bit of practice on that.
Oh yeah, it's not easy. I mean, I've been doing this now. I had guests on the channel now for a year because I just renewed my Zoom membership, and
Yeah.
that hurt the wallet a little bit, but yeah, at least I know how long it's been.
Yeah.
Okay, Scrunchin says, "Good day, Sean and Lara. Glad to be up early and catch one of your lives. It is good to see you. I know I see you a lot on the evening lives that different people have, but yeah, it's good to see you here in the morning. Good, that is awesome." Russ says, "Finish something." No, okay. I'm not wording well today. Tamika says, "I want to do a quilt ornament swap. Do you all think that's a good idea?" That sounds great. You just have to kind of put feelers out there and see who is interested, and you probably get enough people that would be interested in doing that. Okay, people are asking for Laura's channel, so let me just grab that link real quick, because I don't think I put it in as a exclamation point yet. I had a moment of panic this morning. I was like, okay, where's the link to go to the video? And I hadn't posted it yet this morning. I had a little panic attack. So I'm sitting here trying to make a thumbnail and put it all up and get everything set up about 30 minutes before the live. I don't know what happened. I thought it was all done, but apparently it was one of those things that I mentally did and didn't actually finish. So shame on me. All right, so yeah, if you're interested in an ornament swap, let us know. That would be something that Tamika would probably organize, because I mean, I thought about doing something like that myself, but I just, with everything else I have going on, I really don't need to put another thing on my plate, because it's just going to fall by the wayside, and I don't want to disappoint everybody. So, all right, Jan is asking where you are from. And you mentioned this a little earlier, but you want to tell us again, just for the folks that are just
Yeah, I'm from the UK, South Wales. As I said, like we were saying before when we Sean, it's a beautiful part of the UK.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Because we're lucky actually, because we live in the valleys, so it's very mountainous. I mean, it's a bit wet and cloudy today, but it is a gorgeous valley. It really is beautiful.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, because we're renting a mining house, three bedroom mining house. It's quite old, because obviously it used to be the mining cottages, you know, when the coal industry was big in South Wales. So there's a lot of history here, to be fair, but it's sad really, because not a lot of it is celebrated, you know, which is a shame. You know, kind of got lost in it's almost like the land that time forgot living up here.
Yeah, no, I'm sad to hear that, you know, because there's so much history in Wales and England and everything else. Like,
Yeah.
I see stuff, you know, where I live. I'm fairly close to Jamestown and Yorktown, which is some of the first British settlement here in the United States, and then it goes back to, I think they landed in 1607. Something like that. I am not the history major here, but you know, in Australia, like, yes, we have the Aboriginal history, because they were settled in the country for 40 to 50,000 years, but the European settlement in Australia only goes back to 1788. So it's fun to see stuff that was here, you know, 400 years. But I was like, I'd love to go to the UK and Europe and see the stuff like from the medieval ages and that sort of thing there. So
pretty much, yeah. Because funny enough, because I said I was going to show the last quilt that I made, but because I'm hoping to have it in Bridgend. There's a Tudor house, St. John's Tudor house, and that goes back to medieval times.
Oh wow.
And the guy, he just came this morning, because we've got to work out, you know, where to hang it, because it's I mean, it's a big piece, because I would have shown otherwise, but it's with him now. But yeah, it's the size of it is is a like a double bed, like it's, you know, it's really big.
Oh, okay.
But it is on my channel, because I did obviously review it on my channel. So anyone who does want to see it, obviously, you know, I'm hoping it is obviously going to be displayed there. It's just working out how to hang it, because it is so big.
Yeah, and that's a challenge
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
A lot of times I think you can put a hanging sleeve on the back,
Oh yeah.
and that's a lot of fun. And the thing that a lot of folks may not know about this, about Laura, I'll get this right in a minute. I told you I'm not wording well today. Is you did that all by hand, correct?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always stitch by hand. I did try using a sewing machine, which, don't get me, I mean, I would like to invest one at some point, because to be fair, you know, if you want to do something, say, a bit quicker, should we say, then a sewing machine is really handy. Because obviously if you do it by hand, it does take longer. But
Sure. Yeah.
you know, but it's just what I'm used to, and I do enjoy it as well, sort of doing it by hand. But yeah, I don't really know any different really so far, really. Just
Yeah.
just doing it by hand.
And that's how I feel about hand stitching, because I really have had no experience with it. Well, I've
Yeah,
tried like
yeah.
stitching, you know, stuff that the dogs are ripped up, but you know, that doesn't go together real well. So
Oh, I know. My I know, because we said we would like a puppy at some stage, and because we love dogs. I mean, well, we're just soppy on animals really
yeah.
altogether. But I know, and it's like, and I keep this, and you just think you have a puppy, and you think, right, you got to hide everything. I was thinking, how can you work and have a puppy? I don't.
Yeah. We got Finlay as a puppy, and she thankfully didn't destroy the furniture, but she chewed everything. And right now, going into the bathroom and grabbing cardboard.
Oh no!
Stop it. Where's Finlay?
So this is what I mean.
Yeah, that's why I'm a big proponent. If you are to get a dog and you don't want them chewing up everything, get an adult.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Once they get a little older, they don't chew as much, and people want the puppies anyway. So it's
Is that, I know, because I said that to my head. That's what I said to Rob. I said, like, you know, I know you want a puppy, but at the same time, let's start, because we were thinking of fostering a dog.
I was about to suggest that. I was like, yeah, you could always foster them.
Because there's so, you know, you think there's so many dogs out there that need a home. You
Mhm.
know, they really do, you know.
Yeah, we've fostered a few times, and it's always been a good experience. You know, that might be kind of like a try before you buy thing, and like you said, it helps them out. Jan is asking you, Laura, are you a quilter or do you do many things? And you know, again, you've answered this before, but you know, for the folks hopping in, you know,
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. I do a bit of everything, yeah. I as I said, mixed media really, because say I put you know, I like to put stitching together with painting. I do actually write poetry as well. As yeah, I'm definitely sort of do everything, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I've like always said I'm a mixed media, you know, artist. You know, my mind just kind of works that way, really.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of the same way. I'm always thinking of new projects. I've got like a list of stuff that I want to do on the channel, and I think I've got enough content right now to keep me going for the next 50 years. I just have to sit down and figure out the time, and how to do it. Doreen says she watches YouTubers King It, and they are from Wales. They have shown what a beautiful country it is, and that might be something fun for you to do too. Is like maybe take some photos of like the valley and the mountains and stuff, and show it. You know, like as a short or something like that, because we all love seeing where everyone's from. You know, like you guys get to see the area around us, like where we are. There's no mountains. Like if you want to go do hill training for the run, like if you want to run and do hill training, you've got to run up and over the overpasses.
Quite a way, is it? Yeah. But no, in all fairness, we are very blessed to have that on our doorstep.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, very blessed in all fairness.
There you go. All right. And you said you had your channel for about a year. Do you have any plans like in the future? Like, do you know what you want to do in the future with it? Do you want to continue doing
I
like
would,
show and tell
yeah.
tutorials, that sort of thing?
Yeah, well, what I would like to do, because I would like to do membership. You get your tiers, don't you? You get your tiers.
Mm-hmm.
That I do. So yeah, I do. That's something I do want to do, because I do want to show more. I do want to show more my fabric work, actually.
Okay.
But another idea I've got is another fabric journal. Which that's another thing I like doing, which is basically a journal of using fabrics, but just fabrics,
Oh, okay.
again, your own designs and that, and working on that. So yeah, that's something I definitely want to do.
That sounds fun. Yeah, because like when I started mine, I thought I'd do a lot more tutorials. I thought I'd do like a beginner, like how to, thread the machine, how to do all that sort of stuff there. And then I got into the podcast because that was kind of the other thing I wanted to do, was just
Oh yeah,
show what I did
yeah,
and that sort of thing there as well. And I haven't done as many tutorials, although I am getting, feedback that people do want to see tutorials. So they are coming. It's just,
yeah, yeah,
unless you've done a tutorial, it's a lot more work than you would first think, because you've got to sit there and figure out how you got to teach it, how you got to explain it. And then the next part is, because the person that you're trying to educate isn't sitting there right, next to you, you've got to figure out camera angles and that sort of thing there to be able to effectively show how it's all done. So I think after a while, you get used to it and it gets quicker. But yeah, it's definitely one of those things that takes a lot longer to
work out. Yeah, I can
yeah.
imagine that.
Like
Yeah,
when I did my t-shirt quilt series, I thought, oh yeah, I'll knock this out in a month. I'll do my five different videos, one a week. And I think it took me like 6 months, if not better, to finish everything. So
yeah.
it's coming. It's just going to take a while.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's just taking your time until you find your mojo, as it were, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right. Marie says her husband wants to take a trip to Australia. It's a beautiful country. I recommend everybody go. The hardest part to me is always getting on that plane and sitting in that, on that plane for so long, because even from the west coast of the US, it's 16, 17 hours to Sydney. So long time to spend on the plane.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what the thing that always scares me about like hot countries like Australia is bugs.
Sorry?
The thing that scares me, I think, about Australia, like really hot countries like that, is the bugs.
Yeah, and see, that's what a lot of people say, and it's what I've seen more bugs and stuff that can kill me here in the US than I have down there. Yeah, Australia has a lot of stuff that can take you out, but you really got to go looking for them. And if you go during the the UK summer, it's wintertime down there, which is not as cold as you might think. I mean, I know some of the people I know tell me they're freezing to death, but it's only like 15 degrees or 10 degrees, and that to us is a warm winter day. So I've been down there in Sydney in the middle of winter in shorts and t-shirts and been more than comfortable. So that's what I'd recommend going.
Yeah, yeah. Because I think, you see, I'm terrified of spiders, and I really I don't like them one bit. So I suppose sorry, carry on.
I've never really noticed a whole lot of spiders in Australia. Jan, would you like to tell me, do you see a whole lot where you are out there in Western Australia? Yeah, I'd love to get her input on this as well, because You know, like the snakes. I mean, I think I saw 2 venomous snakes in the whole the 20-some years I lived down there. So, and I've seen more at the local water park here than I ever did down there. So,
Yeah.
yeah, just go during the Australian winter. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
And just remember, millions of people live down there successfully every year. So,
Yeah, that's true. So they must be doing something right, eh?
all right. Stephen says he's been to Australia 3 times and never had to worry about the bugs or snakes. Perfectly safe in the civilized areas. The outback may be a different story. And that is very true. Thank you for that, Stephen. Yeah, like if you go out in the middle of that's where most of the snakes and spiders and all the stuff that's going to kill you lives is out in the outback. So you really got to
That's yeah.
So yeah, if you go to the main areas like Sydney, Brisbane, where the people are, you really don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah.
So Marie Scrappy Creations says everything you said about making tutorials is 100% true. I have people who tell me not to edit my tutorials, but there's no way around it. It's a lot of time. Some people love to edit, some don't. I think editing a tutorial is good because, and this is just my opinion as well, but I think you want to make it where it's informative, but you don't want to drag it out too much. I'm a big proponent of trying to make tutorials as short as possible because I know when I go looking for a tutorial, I want to know what I need to learn as quickly as I can. So, but that, again, that's just me. Good morning. Speaking of people that do great tutorials, my friend Donna is here from Handmade by Ying. And if you need good tutorials on a lot of things, especially foundation paper piecing, you cannot go wrong with her. If you haven't checked out her channel, please do so. She does a wonderful job on a lot of stuff. Always a lot of fun as well. It should be ! Donna, and I think she's put her channel link in there for me as well. So there we go. Okay, good morning, Shannon from the Alexandria Hyundai dealership. Are we getting our car serviced or are we going shopping today, Shannon? I would love to know there as well. Jan says she lives in the country and it's very safe. Yeah, I grew up in a very, in the US it'd be called small, but down there it was actually reasonably big. It was about 40,000 people. I was in the country too. And
okay.
I never felt unsafe. I never felt unsafe with the snake. Like we just learned as kids that you did not go out in the middle of the bush and pick up sticks in the summertime because it might not be a stick. As long as you watch where you're going and are mindful, you're fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There we go. All right. So we are making some progress today, which is good. It's never as much as I think I'm going to. Like I always cut out enough fabric to go for like what I think is going to take me an hour, but then by the time I get talking and reading the chat and everything else, it ends up being a lot less. So this is one of my 16 patches.
Oh, it's looking great.
Yeah, and I just pick out random pieces of fabric. I do a solid and then a solid print. So that's kind of planned. But I just pull them out of these 2 bags. I mean, I've got a bag full of solids and a bag full of prints. And I just what we call lucky dip. Just put your hand in, see what comes out, and that's how it goes together. It's just a nice, fun, scrappy project. So sometimes you just want something where you don't have to really think about it too hard as well. So
I agree with that. That's why I like doing that whale, because again, it was a nice, easy project, not too, because this one with the poppies, this takes a bit more concentration. I can see that already. But I've started a little bit. So I've started on the mountains.
Oh wow, that's neat.
So I've started filling it in.
And that'd be a really good thing to have for like Remembrance Day and that sort of thing there, because the poppy is the symbol for something.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Jan's got to pop in just a second and fill me in on this. So I forget what the poppy stand. It might be just be an Australian thing too, but it's a lot with a.
I could, because I know daffodils is famous in Celebrate Wales. Daffodils.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I know they're very much associated with Wales daffodils.
I had no idea of that. I think in Australia, daffodil was like the symbol for like the Australian Cancer Council or something, like to help cure cancer and stuff. So that's what I associate. Okay, so Pam says here it's for Anzac Day, and for anyone outside of Australia and New Zealand, Anzac Day stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps. It's basically our military Remembrance Day, Memorial Day. It's on April 25th, and that was the day that our first troops went to Gallipoli to help fight in World War I believe it was 1914, I think it is. But yeah, I think in the UK and some other parts of the world, the poppy is more associated with Remembrance Day, which in the US is Veterans Day, the 11th of November. And I forget exactly what the poppy is symbolized for. There's a meaning behind it, and I just don't remember what it is. So,
Should know.
so yeah, we'll figure it out. Someone will tell me, or we'll go Google it in a little bit, and we'll be good to go. Okay, so I'm getting distracted, but that's nothing unusual. Okay, Jan says I'm right. Okay, good. It's always nice when I'm right. Doesn't happen very often, but once in a while. Marie says exactly, plus I have to piece all my parts together, going from the sewing machine to the ironing board to the cutting table, etc. Yeah, that's one of the fun parts about having a smaller space. My cutting board is right here, my ironing station is next to me, and my sewing machine's right here. So if I want to go to my cutting table, I just pick this machine up, I move it, and I can cut right away. So, I mean, it's nice having a lot of space, but sometimes having a compact space kind of is a little easier when you're a content creator too, I think. Mozilla is here. Good morning, all. It's good to see you. This is my friend Lara. She's joining me from Wales, and this is I think you're like only the second or third person I've had from the UK. Actually,
Okay.
yeah, I haven't had a lot of UK guests, which is something I'd like to rectify. But yeah, just
start a trend.
yeah, maybe, yeah. I'd love to have more guests from the UK. So if you are a content creator from the UK and you want to hop on at some point, definitely let me know. I'd love to get, that sort of thing there as well. Okay. Thank you, Pam. Okay. So she says poppies are the symbolic representation of the blood spilt by those who fought in the wars. Okay. I knew it was something like that, but I just could not remember. And I figured one of my viewers would know the answer or go look it up for me and let me know. So thank you very much for that, Pam. I knew it had a symbolization, and I just could not remember what it was. Okay, so anyone just hopping in, I am working on my city avenues, and we are getting close to getting the second row done. It's a fun little project. And I know a few people have asked me about the pattern. I found this online a little while ago, and the person that made it does not have a pattern. She said she just kind of made it up as she went along. I've modified it a little bit just to suit my own needs. And I do plan on doing a tutorial and writing a pattern once I figure out exactly how many pieces you need to cut and that sort of thing there as well. So the tutorial is coming. I just can't promise you when. I'd like to say next week, but more than likely it might be a couple of months because I get very easily distracted and other projects come up that, that sort of thing there. Okay, Pam says she had to Google it. Okay, not a problem. I've figured that might have been the case. It's just one of those things that we get told about once upon a time and then we forget, but it's good to know that sort of stuff there. Jan is asking you, Laura, have you done any sashiko? That's that Japanese... it's like a needlecraft. Nicole Reed was showing us the other week when she was on here from Australia.
Right. Okay. No, I haven't.
Okay. Yeah, that seems to be getting more and more popular.
That's the first time I heard of it, actually.
Well, until Nicole mentioned it to me the other week, I'd never heard of it either. So you are definitely in good company. I am not going to profess that I know everything. And yeah, I had no clue, but it looks like a lot of fun. Definitely, yeah, you can always go back and watch that video with Nicole Reed or go over to her channel, might be even better, and look up the Shashiko, because I think that's something that she does quite a bit of. So if it's something you're interested in, go and check her out.
Yeah.
And, it might be something, especially if you've been so multi-talented, that might be something you might like to try as well.
Yeah, what's the name of the lady's channel?
It is Nicole Lee, Divana Lee Designed, I believe.
Okay.
It might be under, I think I might have put it under Nicole. Let's see. Will anything pop up? Okay. Okay, so Stephen says it comes from the John McCrae. He was Canadian poem in Flanders Field, which is about fallen soldiers in the First World War. Okay, so yeah, we're getting a good history lesson here today. I always love hearing, learning new stuff. And Stephen does a wonderful job teaching us history, as we learned last week when he was with us teaching us all about Canada. I learned a lot about Canada, and I thought that was a lot of fun. I work with Canadian imports every day. It's my day job. And yeah, I learned so much that I didn't even know. So there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, Donna says, I'll be lurking, hidden a long arm for a while. Happy sewing. Oh, well, thank you for joining us for a little while, Donna. It's always good to see you. I would have watched your live last night, but I just fell asleep really early. So I didn't quite get there, but I'll go watch it in a little bit. Zero says, I have a quilt pattern by Pam Bono, who designed a quilt in Flanders Field I've wanted to make. That might be fun. Yeah, I might have to go look at some poppy stuff. I do have some poppy blocks that I made for the Wizard of Oz quilt. It's going to be part of the border.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and those turned out really, really nice with the red sheen fabric. Because Dorothy goes through that poppy field and falls asleep. So
yeah.
Oh, Marie says, right, but I'm talking about having to edit clips together while stitching between those places. Yeah, I speed mine up. I find that works. But yeah, whatever works for you is good. Yeah, but just one of those things like, when you're doing a tutorial, you've got to figure out how to make it informative, but not so long, because folks usually will go for the shorter videos in a lot of cases, from what I've learned. So
no, you're right there. That is true. Because I keep meaning to put more shorts on my channel, but it's like hard for me to think short term, because I usually think, with a video I usually sort of want to go into depth and explain it.
Yeah.
So but I do need to do really more shorts, because like you said, people's concentration span isn't always a lot, is it?
And the other thing I can tell you and anyone else that might be interested in start, doing the tutorial video is, if it gets too, and this is just my opinion, and I very well could be wrong, but if it gets too long, break it up into two or three or more videos. I came across that when I did my t-shirt quilt tutorial series. I was going to do it in like 1 or 2 videos, and I wanted to keep them to about 8 to 10 minutes each. I really couldn't break it down any further without like skipping major steps. So I was like, okay, well, the answer here is, instead of having 2 videos, we got to have 5.
Yeah.
And so, and that kind of works too, because that way I can say, okay, well, part 1 was selecting your panel sizes and that sort of thing. Step 2 is this, that, and that. And if people come along and go, okay, well, I've already done this part, they can skip that video and go directly to the part that they need as well. So that's always an option for that sort of thing there. Jan says she is not a fan of shorts. To be honest, I'm not either. They have their merits. They are good for certain things. I don't do shorts very often, but when I do, I use them as a trailer. I think they're good for that, and I think that's kind of what they were designed for. But yeah, there was a big push with YouTube, with their content creators, to get the shorts out recently. Thankfully, that's kind of died off. But yeah, I've done a few shorts, but I don't think I've done one in 6 months. And if I come up with an idea and it's going to be a good like a little video, I will do it. But other than that, I'm really not worried about it.
Yeah.
Marie says, when I'm doing something that I really don't want to do, it helps to have a video running in the back, and usually I watch the long ones then. Okay, well, that's always good too. And I know, the live replays, and that's good for that too sometimes. I know some people tell me they watch the videos, like the live replays while they're sewing, so they have something in the background. And I'd never thought about that, but I thought that was a really neat idea. Here we go. All right, so we're making some pretty good progress here. I'm really happy with this.
Yeah, it's going well, definitely. I think my favorite one you've done is the lavender. The lavender color blocks.
Oh yes, and they'll be coming out very soon because Clue 6 came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Um, and I'll be sewing that clue with Martha next Saturday morning.
Oh,
And
okay, cool.
yeah, I do because I get my blocks ahead of time, being an ambassador, but I wanted to make sure that Martha got her block before, and they mailed them out yesterday, and they usually take at least a couple of days to get to her. So that's why I didn't do it today. But
Yeah.
I do that, and then I also do the time lapse of each block as well separately, and that's been a lot of fun as well. And I think a lot of people have really enjoyed doing that. And
Yeah.
that is something that I plan on doing for Carnival, which is starting at the end of the month, which I'm really excited about. I'm going to be doing the bum pop colorway, which is the red, white, and blue. But yeah, that lavender one's been a lot of fun. It's a little too far away for me to go grab and shelves. But if you haven't seen that, go check out those videos. There's a playlist of the time lapses,
Yeah.
the clues. I haven't done Clue 5 yet on the time lapse. That's got to be done in the next week or two. It's on the schedule along with everything else.
Yeah, because purple, well, lavender purple is my favorite color, and anything to do. I love that color. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's my wife's favorite color too. And so when Cotton Cuts reached out to me earlier this year and said, "Hey, would you like to be an ambassador for us?" And I said, "Sure, no problem." Which colorway? And they said, "Oh, here's the purple one." I was like, "Oh, this would be great." It's been a challenge because the previous one I did was all bright colors. It was white, orange, green, blue, and red. And I didn't really have to read the pattern. I kind of just was able to put it together. But this one, because the colors are so similar, I've had to really sit there and watch.
Think about it.
Because I've actually messed it up. I think like Clue 1 and Clue 2, I put the wrong pieces together. I was sitting there thinking to myself, okay, why am I short 2 pieces here and over 2 pieces there? And then I'm like, because you put the wrong ones together. And then I had to pull out my friend, who I'm not going to name, and yeah, one of those things. Now, speaking of which, you'll get to see this tomorrow, but on Tuesday, I made this trash truck with Beth.
Oh, yeah, because they were cute, they were.
Yeah, so you see this one here, the red one, and then the green one.
Oh, brilliant.
And now we're going to play a game with you and everybody else.
Okay.
Can you tell me what's different between these two besides the color?
Oh. So far I can't see the difference aside from the color.
Okay, so that's what I said when I put it all together. You can see the gray part here. This is the undercarriage of the truck is here. On the red one, I put it on upside down. So I discovered it after I put all the borders on and everything else. So I'm going to have to pull out my good friend at some point and rip out about half of this panel. And I'm not real pleased with it because, yeah, it's if I don't change it, it's going to look like a sore thumb eventually. So, yeah, I was not pleased when I saw that.
No, it's so easy to do though, because I must admit, it's like, so like I think following patterns is probably quite hard because I do tend to go on a tangent on my own and make it up as I go. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, to me, a pattern is more like a recipe.
Yeah.
It's there to guide you on how to make this quilt to look like this person designed it. But you don't have to follow it to the letter.
Yeah, I agree.
I change stuff up all the time. Like the Wizard of Oz, I've changed that. I think just about every block that they've pulled out, I've put my own spin on it somewhere. I might have changed the fabric colors. I might have changed, this and that. And it's great. I mean, I've seen pictures of different people making that because there's like a private group that you can go inside with Art East when you sign up for these projects. And some of the stuff that these people have come up with has been amazing. So yeah, to me, a pattern is definitely a recipe. If you want it to be exactly the same, follow it to the letter. If you want to put your own
Yeah.
spin on it, go for it. It's your craft.
Yeah.
It's going to look fantastic. Like with my little bearded gnome, I did the beard one section upside down. I left it. It looked good. You know,
Yeah.
that's my own little spin on it.
It has personality, doesn't it? And
It
I think
does, yeah.
you know.
And then like with my last puzzle mystery quilt, there was a couple of sections there where some of the blocks were turned around 90 degrees. And I was looking there and I was like, I could rip this out. It's going to take me a couple of hours. It's not going to be fun. I really don't want to have to rip this out. And I was sitting there looking and I'm like, is anyone ever going to notice?
Yeah.
And I really couldn't tell. I figured, okay, if Sheila Christensen, who I believe is the name of the lady in New Zealand that designed it, sees it, yeah, she's probably going to see it. But it's anyone else? No.
Yeah.
And now that I look at it 7-8 months later, I can't even tell you where the mistakes are. So,
yeah, exactly.
You know, I made the right choice.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's not like the others. Can you find it? I like that. Yeah, find the mistake. I like that. Jan says she wouldn't change it. I was tempted just to leave it, but I think it's going to stand out too much. So I think I will. I will change it. Lorraine says it looks like the wheel in the road, and that's definitely a point too. And that's something my mother-in-law brought up when I showed her earlier this week. So who knows? Maybe I'll rip those out and actually make a road. You know, it may end up being a total design change on both blocks. So that's one of the reasons I haven't got my friend out and started ripping yet, because I'm still trying to decide: do I want to rip that one out, or do I want to flip it?
Yeah.
Add the road, like Lorraine has mentioned, and just do a total design change and make it, you know, maybe it's a happy accident. Maybe it's meant to be this way. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you would do if you were in this situation. Would you rip out the other one and make a road? Should I rip out the green one and make it look like it's the pattern's written? Let me know. I would love to hear what you guys think.
Probably, I think knowing me, I'd probably sort of go along. I'd work around it, I think, knowing me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd work around it, because I must admit the number of times I've had happy accidents, and I've actually preferred how it looks to what it originally was supposed to be.
Oh yeah, and that's happened to me a lot too as well. Scrunchions is asking how many quilt tops have I made this year. That is a good question, and I can see one. I don't know. I'd have to really sit there and think about that one. How many quilt tops have I made this year? Oh, I did the Express Yourself, which was the one that I did with Stephanie Stitches, the black background with all those bright, colorful, like square type and triangles. I finished the Mythical Darksons quilt top this year.
Love that one.
Oh, that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, I need to figure out how I want to quilt that. Have I finished anything else? I don't know. Don't know. I'll have to sit there and think about it. I'll let you know that answer soon. Jan says
on a postcard.
Yeah. Jim says better now than when the top is done. Absolutely. I'm glad I found the mistake now. Absolutely. Someone mentioned here, Marie says I'm doing Village Green, but apparently the fabric is stuck in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, I heard about that. She apparently, unfortunately, for those that are doing the lavender colorway, which is the one that I'm doing, the fabric that I need for Clue 6 got delayed in shipping. It's somewhere in a container ship. Yeah, somewhere in a container ship that hasn't quite docked yet. It's supposed to dock fairly soon. And once that happens, you know, they've got to get it from, I guess, either LA or whichever port it comes into to St. Louis. So I don't know if it's being trucked or air flown or put on the rail. They said it might be a couple of weeks, but you know, the Cotton Cuts team will take good care of these folks.
Yeah,
and
I hope
so. Well, they said at worst they'll mail Clues 6 and 7 together. That's kind of the worst case scenario. But really, at the end of the day, it's disappointing, you know, when you're waiting for it. But it's better to happen now than Clue 9 and 10.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like you just get to make two when it comes in, because that happened to me last year. Like I was doing the Benet colorway and they shipped everything out. Clue one, they shipped everything out, and apparently one of the mail bags with all, about 85 different people's stuff went missing. It got loaded onto the mail truck and then it disappeared into the twilight zone, and they haven't been seen since. And they replaced them. They waited a little bit just to make sure they just didn't magically show up. And when they didn't, they just went ahead and recut the clues. And I think we got clue 1 and 2 together. So you got twice the fun in one go. And
there you go.
Again, like I was like,
as
long as it didn't happen at the end, like if you have to wait a month at the very end, that would be a little frustrating. But if it happens at the beginning or at the middle, you don't get to do it as quickly. But then you get twice the fun when you're all done. So there you go. Jim says, I found a mistake after I had the layers sandwiched and decided I could live with it rather than start all over the way. Yeah, if I find a mistake once it's quilted, it's staying put. It's not, I am not ripping that out. Not a hope. Jan says she's going to do the truck quilt when I get back from my holiday. Grandson is still deciding which ones you want. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Yeah, so let me know which ones you decide. He decides on. That'd be a lot of fun. Marie says she has to go work on today's filming. Take care and have a great day. Stephen says I have FOMO when it comes to the Cotton Cuts kits. Maybe when the next mystery quilt comes out, I'll bite the bullet and buy the kit. Expensive here in Canada, but they do look like a lot of fun. Yeah, the exchange rate does hurt you guys there in Canada, I understand. But the nice thing is, like, and I've mentioned it before, if you prepay, you do get free international shipping as well, which I think is very, very generous of them to do. So that's a lot of fun. All right, so I need to stop jabber jawing so much and actually get some work done. I'm such a, I tell everyone I'm introverted, and then I get on here every week and everyone thinks I'm like the most chatty person on earth.
Sure.
So for anyone that hasn't seen, this is what it looks like so far. This is the first row, and then like what I call the avenues here.
Yeah, it's looking good.
I love, and then I'm going to attach the row that I just showed you that I finished just now onto top of that. And I want to make this into a lap quilt. It's going to be a gift for a friend. I don't think she watches the channel, but just in case she does. Oh, hang on, I haven't finished yet. Whoops. All right, Marie says, it's fun, but I'm getting anxious to see it done. Okay, so I do have some good news for you, Marie. I do have my Clue 6. Being an ambassador, they ship my clues out ahead of time. So I'll be actually back on here next week with Martha from Martha's Creative Life, and I'll be sewing Clue 6 with her next week. So you'll get to see it fairly soon, which is fun. So I don't know if that's a good consolation prize for you or not, but that's the best I can give you, unfortunately. All right, let's see. I need to attach this, and then I can put the two rows together. Okay, good morning, Joyce. It is good to see you. It's good to have you. So what have you been up to this summer, Laura? Have you had any fun adventures in Wales?
Yeah, we just come back from holiday. We went to a lovely place called Narberth, which is in West Wales.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really nice. They did went to this, and Narberth had some really lovely crafty shops as well, so that was a lot of fun. Brought back a few things though, because I like to go into charity shops as well.
Mm-hmm.
And have a good search in them. I always seem to find a bargain, which is good. And we stayed in a caravan, which was fun. First time stayed in a caravan.
Oh wow, we used to do that a lot as kids.
It's fun, isn't it? I love staying in a caravan. Probably and also we went camping as well, which was nice to a festival. It was a Christian festival actually. It was really, because it was sort of with the arts, and it was really good. Really enjoyed it.
Was it by the seaside or?
It was by the beach, the Gower, because the Gower is a stunning beach. It was really sandy, really big as well. It was a stunning beach. It was typical. The first night we camped, it was it was windy and raining. The joys of camping, like.
Yeah, I've always seen like the British, movies and TV shows, and they go to the seaside, and it always looks like so much fun.
Yeah,
Like the Australian beaches, they are absolutely fantastic. I love the Australian beaches, and there's some very nice beaches here in the US. But like the one near us, Virginia Beach, is just it's okay. But basically, yeah, you go. There's all the hotels by the beach, and then there's this big strip of sand, and there's not a whole lot of. I think it's because it's so flat. There's no mountains, there's no
okay.
hills or anything else like that. It's
Yeah.
just miles and miles and miles of sand. It's just really
Yeah.
not. You can't really tell it apart from, like, if you took a picture of Virginia Beach oceanfront compared to Ocean City, Maryland, for instance. I don't know that I could tell them apart. Maybe the buildings, but other than that, they look very similar. But then this parts of the West Coast over in California near San Francisco, they have some absolutely stunning coastline over there by like Monterey, the Ocean Road, that sort of thing. They're up by Maine. It's absolutely beautiful. But yeah, the part here in the Mid-Atlantic is, just if you like sand, water and sand, it's definitely your place. But if you're looking for, more scenery and that sort of thing, now you're going to have to go a little further north, I believe.
Yeah. And I
Jan
think
says she loves caravans. We are getting one soon. Hobie wants to do a lap of Australia. Okay, so let me explain for anyone outside of the US. Again, a caravan in the US is usually a minivan made by Chrysler. It's more a camper trailer is what you guys here in the US would call them. I forget that I have, I'm fluent in British English and American English. I have to translate sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. So have we done this right? Yes. We got to try and have another Jack-free live. We'll see if we can make it.
I'm asking exactly the same question with what I'm doing as well.
All right, so yeah, I haven't got any real holidays planned, unfortunately, but that's not a bad thing. I kind of like staying home and sewing most of the time, so I'm not going to complain.
Save money that way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always enough to be done around the house here, so.
Yeah, because I mean that's what we'll be doing now. We'll be saving up now until then probably go away next year now. Because we got our anniversary coming up on the 30th. No, so 7th of August. I always get anniversary mixed up my husband's birthday, but it's the 7th of August.
Oh, okay. It's easy to do.
Yeah.
All right. So she's saying it's like an American Class B. The caravan is the detached vehicle. It's a trailer, more like the pop-up. Like there's a pop-up one, and then there's a so it's not, but you can tow it behind just a regular vehicle. You don't need a fifth wheel or anything else like that. Okay, so Nancy's saying, aren't you going to see Amanda's friend? We were planning to do that, yes, but that unfortunately fell through. We aren't doing that now. There was some health issues with her friend that she wasn't able to travel, so that has been postponed probably until next year. So Jan is going on her holiday in 21 days. She's going to be over in the UK to visit. Visit one of her children, I believe. I can't remember if it's a son or a daughter. I want to say son, but I could be wrong. So, but yeah, the idea of getting a caravan and going around Australia would be a lot of fun. Two of my schoolmates that I went to high school with, they got married to each other. They actually did that quite recently. They took like 4 months off and took their 2 teenage daughters with them and went like around Australia in a caravan. And that was a lot of fun to see. Like they'd post pictures on Facebook every couple of days and show where they were. And I kept telling them, like, get on YouTube, make a channel, and so we can all see this stuff. Because, having been here 21 years, I miss seeing the Australian countryside and that sort of thing there. So I really enjoyed seeing all the different things that they showed us. So
yeah, good though.
All right, Isle of Wight daughter. Oh, that's funny. We have an Isle of Wight county, which is about 15 minutes down the road from us. So all right, let's see. Oh, Nancy's going to Maine in 5 days. That sounds like fun. Maine is such a beautiful part of the world. I would love to go back there sometime. Uh,
Yeah, is Maine really good for shopping? Because I thought, I'm sure somebody visited Maine, or my thing is somewhere else. Is it like a port, Maine?
Sorry,
Is Maine like a port?
a porch.
A port in a port, like, with got a harbour in that, Maine.
Oh yes, yeah. There's a couple of ports there. There's Portland, Maine, and
Yeah.
then Bar Harbor.
Okay.
Yeah, Bar Harbor's. I mean, I haven't been to Portland. I have been to Bar Harbor, and
Yeah.
that's just a stunning piece of scenery right there. And there's a nice little town. There's a lot of store. Yeah, you might be thinking of Bar Harbor. There's a lot of like gift shops and that sort of thing there in the main
Okay,
street.
yeah, it's the
And
one
then
thing.
right next to it is Acadia National Park, which is a stunning national park. A great way to, yeah. So you might be thinking of Bar Harbor. If you ever get
Yeah.
a chance to visit, do it. That's one of those places I would love to go back to and see again sometime in my life. So, all right. Debbie Dunn says we just got back from our trip out west. We car camped in our Ford Flex for the month. That sounds like fun. Yeah. I haven't been out west in many, many years. I think the last time we were out west would have been, well, we went to Vegas for a couple of days back on the way home from Australia, and then we've been out to Denver and that sort of area, and that's beautiful as well. We spent some time in Colorado Springs. We went down to did some whitewater rafting a little bit further south of that. That was a lot of fun. And then we went up in sort of national park and that sort of thing there as well. So that's another. There's a lot of stuff here in the US to go see. Like even in Virginia, you've got the beaches, you've got the mountains, the history. I mean, you've seen all that stuff probably on my weekend reviews of all the stuff we get to see here in Virginia. So yeah, go out and explore. If you can't afford a big holiday, go for a drive. There's always state parks or national parks and that sort of thing there within an hour or two usually, and you can just go out and have a nice little day.
Yeah.
We like to take the dogs with us whenever we can too. So that's
definitely. Because do your dogs like going out in the sea?
no.
Oh, they don't. Okay. Because I know some
No.
dogs love it, don't they?
Yeah, I keep hoping to get a dog that would like to go on the sea. But yeah, none of them do. They enjoy running on the sand. Like we'll take them to the beach, and they'll run around on the sand. But as soon as the water comes near them,
Oh, bless.
they're gone.
I
So
don't see that. Yeah.
yeah, we took the three of them to like a local, like a state park here last year. We took Bandit, Copper, and Finley with us, and Bandit used to love running up and down the sand. And the other two, yeah, they enjoyed it too. But yeah, no water for them. I think they probably think it's a bath, like they're getting a bath, and they hate that too. So
Yeah, because my mother-in-law's got a whippet, and
okay.
he doesn't like the water. He doesn't like the water, love him. He's definitely not a water babe.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever owned a dog that liked the water. Like the one we had before, the two we have now, Alex, he didn't like water. My dachshund Enzo, he didn't like water. I tried taking him down to the river once, and he just absolutely hated it. So I don't know. I know, yeah, there's some dogs out there that like water, but apparently not the ones that I've purchased or adopted over the years. So I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get lucky and they'll like the water.
Yeah.
I think we'll finish this up and show everybody, and then probably wrap things up and go from there. But it's been a lot of fun learning more about you. And if you haven't checked out Lara's channel, definitely do so. She has some fun stuff on there, and she does more than just quilting. And that's one of the reasons I thought it'd be fun to have her on and join me for a little while and just tell us more about the the cross stitch and the other cross that she does, because sometimes you want to do something a little different. And I think some of the stuff you do on like the cross stitch and the tapestry is also stuff you can take with you, because you don't have to lug around a big sewing. Well, you hand stitch, so it's a little different. But I can't sew on the go, so
yeah. So no, it is handy. Especially like I said, like the one like the well, because it's small, it doesn't take as much time. Whereas, like I said, this one definitely takes more concentration. I can see that already. Like
yeah.
But yeah, I got this kit off Etsy, so it is a nice kit. No offense, doesn't include everything like you need, so it is a good kit.
Neat. All right, so the quilting compound says my corgi loves the water. My dad loves. He used to. That's his favorite breed of dog, and for a while there, like I think we had like 4 or 5 corgis at one point. And used to breed them and that sort of thing there for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that was Lizzie's dog. The Queen. Well, I guess Charles has them now. All right, Nancy says she has to run, she has to replay. Yeah, if you are enjoying the video, definitely hit that the like button as well, because it does help us out immensely. All right. And with that, let's see how it looks.
And it's really good. I like it.
Yeah, it's super easy. The pattern tutorial is coming at some point. Is this upside down? Maybe. Yes. No. No.
I think you had it the right way up, did you? I think.
No, I've put some of the stuff on upside down and I'm not changing it. I
didn't notice. That's right.
There's certain blocks I can see some are upside down, but you know what? When you're looking at it, some of the stuff will be looking at you and some of it won't. So you know what? It's not that big a deal, and it's only like 2 or 3 blocks. So I'm not messing with it. But that's it. That's what we did. So with that, I think we'll wrap things up. And
I've done a bit more. Mountain.
I think you're doing great with that. I mean, I think it'd take me a lot longer.
Yeah. I think I think that should be slightly smaller. I think I got a bit wrong there though, because the stitches look a bit big, but yeah, it's coming along. It's my first time trying, so.
Yeah, and I think it looks really, really great. And are you going to post updates on that as you do more? Is that something you plan on doing?
Yeah, I will do. Yeah, because in my channel, I will do that definitely. I'll be updating my progress on it 100%. Yeah, definitely.
That's great. And do you have anything else coming up in the near future on your channel that you'd like to tell the viewers about? Do you have any like stitch-alongs or videos that you're excited about producing and making that you'd like to tell us about?
I've got another altered book actually, which I want to do because I know some people are thinking of Christmas, which to me is still a bit early, but it's sort of getting
it catches up on you so quick.
Say that again.
It catches up with you so quick. So thinking about it right now sounds silly, but it's not as silly as you might think.
Yeah. So there'll be an altered journals coming up. Obviously, there'll be more videos of my fabric, because once I finish this tapestry, I want to use it for a cover for a journal. So there's going to be lots of different exciting things, again with the mixed media, putting it all together. So yeah,
that looks good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. Yeah. So if you haven't checked out Laura's channel, I see a few people have said in the chat that they have gone over and subscribed, which is awesome.
Oh, thank you so
much for doing it.
Cheers. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, because I think you started off this morning at 130, I think it is 132, and if we hit the old F5 button, we're at 137, so we're getting you a little closer to 150, which is awesome. And more people will pop in and watch the video as the day goes on, because a good chunk of my viewers watch this as a replay. I am on super early. I understand, that I'm on way too early for a lot of people. But we are going to do evening lives about once a month around 7 p.m. Eastern, which is like midnight for you all over here in the UK. So it's a little late for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that way the folks on the West Coast and the mountain that don't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, which I don't blame you one bit, I wouldn't do it either, have a chance to see me live and be part of the chat as well. So there we go. For me, what do I have going on? Let's take a look. Let me pull my calendar up because I can't keep track of what I'm doing these days. That's why I have it all written down. That was a little trick that my friend Donna taught me. She pulls out this giant book, and it has everything written out for the next 6 months. It's a great plan, especially when you're trying to plan videos and so-alongs and everything else. Like, you need to have some sort of organization system. I like my Google Calendar because, if I need to change a date, I just pick it up and I drag it to the new date. But, whatever works for you. But yeah, she kind of inspired me to do this. So let's see. We have our giveaway on the video for the WIP journal. If you haven't entered that yet, definitely head over, check out that video and enter over there. You can't enter here. You have to enter over there. If you put the entry thing here, I'm not going to see it or count it. So definitely do that. That stays open until 11:59 tomorrow night. So you still got a day and a half or so to do that. We'll announce that winner on Monday. And then I'm going to do clue 5 of the time lapse of the lavender village green thing next week as well. And then if I get it finished, I'm going to do a time lapse for the Wicked Witch as well. I thought it'd be fun to show everyone how that all comes together. I reached out to John at Art East to see if that was something I had his permission to do. And he said, yes, sure, go for it. Just don't give away the dimensions, which I said, I'm not going to do that. But, I figured since I didn't own copyright to it, I wanted to get permission first to make sure that I had his blessing. And he said, yeah, absolutely. So I think it'd be fun because people have reached out and said, hey, look, I'd love to see you sew different things. And I thought, let's do it, the lavender thing is fun and people have really enjoyed that. Let's do it with the remaining Wizard of Oz. And then when the Alice in Wonderland comes out, I plan on doing a time lapse on those as well. I thought there'd be a lot of fun for different people to see. So I'll have my podcast tomorrow, and then next Saturday come back, we'll do clue 6 of the village green with the lavender. And then if you are doing the lavender and you're waiting for your clue to arrive in the US and clear customs and all that fun stuff, you can live vicariously through me, perhaps. So thank you all for joining us today. I'll just make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat. Oh, good morning, Miss Ellen. It is good to see you. And good morning, Miss Cynthia. She says good morning from Baldwin. You've caught us at the very end, but you can always go back and watch the replay and see what you missed. It's good to see you here as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you all once again for joining us. I hope you all have a great day. Happy Saturday or Sunday. I think it's not quite Sunday anyway, just yet, unless you're in New Zealand. Have a great weekend. Happy sewing. And I will see most of you tomorrow morning on my podcast. And yeah, go check out Lara's channel as well. She has a lot of fun stuff now and coming up as well. Good morning, Naomi. It's good to see you. You definitely caught us right at the very end, but I'm glad to see that you're here with us. Go back and check out the replay. Thank you all again for joining us. We'll see you next time. Happy sewing.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.